Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Midnight Festival podcast, a late-night talk show focused around the discussion and analysis of video games. I'm Jade, the opening act and the first host.
I'm Cole. I'm the second of the two total hosts tonight.
Tonight we're on our first follow-up episode about Genshin Impact. 1.1 released a few weeks ago, and we wanted to give our impressions and thoughts on the current content and discuss our thoughts on how Genshin Impact is updating and currently unfolding. But before we jump into all that stuff, I wanna rewind and discuss this chronologically. To the point when we finished recording the first episode, and just think about how funny it is to look back when we were the bright-eyed, the doe-eyed boys.
Yeah, lots changed since then.
Lots changed, yeah. It's very interesting to go back and think about what we committed to audio that's permanently out there, speculating about the chests respawning and possible ways to get primo gems and possible content updates and just our wishes and hopes, and just look how they've been dashed.
Feedback from that one was pretty funny.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, we really did have some aspirations as to where everything was going to go, and we were more than a little off base with how things ended up. But now we know better, right? I think. I hope,
I think, yes. I think we probably know a little better.
That was the honeymoon phase for the game.
Honeymoon phase, yeah. This phase before 1.1 I call the drought.
Directly following the podcast content.
Yes, the podcast content was about the first 2 weeks of the game, right? I'd say.
Yeah, and it was like, what was it that we said that was debunked like an hour after we said it?
The chest respawn.
That was it? Okay. I thought something, yeah.
It was the chest, because everyone was speculating that chests respawned, and we said, that's probably the only way to get primo gems. It has to be true.
Oh, man, we were so stupid.
Right when we finished and I was like editing it, I think it was like 3 hours prior that there was a post on Reddit about that being debunked by some sleuths, some number sleuths. And it's very funny. It's very funny because that was the beginning of the domino effect of everything falling apart a little bit for the next following 2 weeks before 1.1.
Yeah, I feel a little bad, not only for having thought that was how it worked, but almost perpetuating that idea, because you see a lot of those, the videos are still up of people who were like, this is how you farm chest respawns, even though it's just wrong now.
The optimal route. Yeah, I go this way usually, and I come here, and sometimes there's a chest here, and then I go this way. Like
that chest in the bank, I've seen people say the chest in the bank respawns.
Misinfo. There's a lot of misinformation in this game,
we didn't know any better at the time, and to be fair, that makes more sense in the game that chests would respawn, because then you have a source of income for pulls.
Yep.
But just think about it for 1 second, that chests do not respawn, confirmed, and the implications that has.
Yeah, that weighed heavily on my mind for those 2 weeks, and I there was an extended period of time where I finished, the battle pass, finished all the quests of the battle pass, got to level 50, and then I just logged in like once a day to spend my resin down doing the exact same boss over and over again, and logged off instantly. And there would be times when I didn't even like try to make my resin cap. Like I would just log in and I'd be capped at my resin. I just didn't give a shit. I think there was even a day I didn't even log in. Like I was just really not inspired at all to level anybody up, because I didn't have any characters that I wanted to level up and put resources into.
Yeah,
so it was the drought. Yeah,
we speculated that they could, because I think in the first episode we talked about how the game was almost two halves, two different games. It was like a gacha game, and then it was an open world adventure sort of RPG game, and pretty clearly after that it was almost confirmed just by the way that the game plays out. It's pretty much 80%, 90% just a gacha with a story that's front loaded.
Well, once you once you see everything, once you see all the areas that you get to explore and stuff like that, then it's a gacha game. Like the whole incentive of the game is to explore this cool world, have a big open world. But once you're done with that, it's just filler, and it's annoying. It becomes annoying as hell having to run around to just finish your daily stuff.
That's true.
Which is kind of, I feel like guilty for thinking that, but
they did not design the world in a meaningful way to be re-explored, and I think that we probably touched on that a bit. We were worried that was going to be how it is, and that is exactly how it is.
It is. Yep. Because that, if you had the chest respawn, that would be incentive to go and revisit old areas and devote more time into the game.
Actually explore again.
But that's not the case here, and instead you're going to the same 4 domains. If you're the same boss or the same domain, you're just seeing the same stuff, and you do your little dailies, your little commissions.
Daily commissions, yeah. Anytime there's a commission or stuff we'll talk about later with 1.1, it's like, oh, this is just a tiny bit away from a teleport, not right on top of it. What a pain.
Yeah. Oh, I have to climb up this big cliff. I got some qualms. I got some qualms with some of the stuff in this game, for sure. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that later on. I just wanted to talk about the downfall, our falling out, per se.
Yeah, you were extremely. You were a different person. As soon as all of the information was coming out, everything started drying up. The drought began.
The drought, yeah.
What was going through your head?
I was just disillusioned because I had so many hopes. I had so many hopes for the game, and it just felt like they weren't going into, what even remotely into the area that I was hoping. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm glad to be playing it for a longer period of time, but lately it's just felt like, I gotta log in and do this stuff, and it's not fun. It's just like a task. It's kind of like part of my dailies in my real life.
Yeah.
I don't want to do them, but I just log in for 20 minutes and spend all my resin and leave right away as fast as I can.
Yeah, I'm that same way right now. It took me a bit longer to reach that point, but yeah, I'm worried for the future and how I'm going to look at the game and if I'll even keep playing it. But we can divulge more about that once, because we're still talking about 1.0 really right now.
We haven't even got into 1.0.
Yeah, for all of 1.0, I'd say it was still kind of on track for me. I was a bit disappointed with the chest, but I thought 1.1's right around the corner, and we'll be seeing what do these updates bring in terms of meaningful content, especially repeatable stuff, and will each major update 1.1, 1.2, and so on, will all of that kind of coalesce into a more complete package of the game,
Yeah.
And I guess we're not far enough to see that just yet, but
not quite. Too early still, but the game's been out for what, 2 months, 2.5, 2 months.
What was the release date? October.
I think it was the 10th, right?
Yeah, I thought it was early in October. I've already forgotten. I'm not good with that stuff.
Yeah. Me too, but it's about two months.
Yeah, because we're a little past the halfway point of the second battle pass right now. And each battle pass is 35, 40 days, I think.
Yep, 45 days.
So there's 25 to 30 days left on it right now, if I'm correct.
Ooh, that's a lot. That's a good amount of days.
I might be estimating that. It's been a while since I looked at it.
It's actually, you want to know how many? 15.
15 less.
You're way grossly off.
I thought it was more days. Okay.
Yeah. 15 days left on this.
But that means 15 days until 1.2?
1.2.
Okay. So
yep.
I guess we're a little late into the life cycle of 1.1.
Well,
But
to be fair, like we should have waited. That's why I think we waited is because of the drought that happened right after the first episode.
yeah,
Because that it was good to have the unfiltered opinion of just a newer player coming into the game and just be like, oh, saying its praises. But now we wanted to experience the content for a longer period of time so we can have
a fuller
a
opinion.
greater exactly, greater understanding of the changes and everything, and see how it filters into our daily play.
And the game itself kind of just changes as your adventure rank climbs. And I want to say we were just about to hit, say, adventure rank 25 or something in the first cast.
We were above that, I thought.
I'm wrong on numbers again. There's no way.
I think so. I'm not sure.
We might have been reaching
Maybe.
30 then at that point, because I'm pretty sure it's
I think
about
we were upper 20s, yeah.
30 to 35, I think, is what people agree on to be about the point where stuff is going to be drying up, and you notice it, you feel it. Because you have a healthy income of experience books, artifacts, and primo gems from opening chests and doing all the quests for the first time. And we had different teams too, kind of. What did we have? What were we playing with? I remember at that point I still mostly just had all the tutorial characters. I only had
Kuching, Amber.
Well, Amber is a
use Amber?
Tutorial character. I had her in my
that's
party.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were using her.
I think the only characters outside of the free ones that I had were Bennett and Kaching
Wow.
at that
Ick.
time. Yeah, and now we've both had a chance to pull some more. So we're more rounded.
A little bit, yeah, I'd say. More options.
The
certainly.
game is definitely a lot different when you get to actually pull. But there's I don't know, there's still some weird issues with that, and I'm not entirely sure what could be done differently. Since, that's
let's
the
get into
primary
that.
way to
Let's
make
get
money
into
for
the
them.
wishing and stuff. This is 1.0. Now let's take a step into 1.1. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I first want to talk about the biggest change, and then we'll talk about the wishes.
Okay.
But I want to talk about the resin stuff, because that's what everyone wants. That's what everybody wanted.
Yeah, resin.
Everybody wanted a resin change of some kind.
It's kind of quieted down now, but I don't think it's. I don't think it should have quieted down. I think people should still be talking about it, but
Yeah,
let's
sure.
hear it.
so they had a cap increase, and that's how they fixed the resin problem. Is they just increased the cap of resin, which is kind of like sidestepping the real big problem. But
And the big problem is
respawn time, in my opinion, and the cost.
Okay.
I think there's a lot. There's so many. It's hard to say. I think that the cap should almost increase more. That might be a little bit of a weird opinion, but there's been times when I gotta work. What is it? 180. 180
the
now?
cap right now is 160.
It's 160. Yeah, and you need 150. You gotta spend 150.
For
which
the battle
means-
pass daily, yeah.
and everything is in multiples of 20. There's nothing that costs 10 resins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you have to do the
to
160.
overspend every time. But there will be times when, because I don't get. There was a couple times this last week that I wasn't able to get my daily 150 or 160 or whatever when I had to work. So it's like the cap didn't even really help. Because I was playing that night. I guess that might have been my own fault that I spent some of them and just didn't have enough to spend before I went to work. And I knew I wouldn't be getting back home in time to spend the rest of them. So, I mean, I don't know if they were trying to be like, okay, you have enough now to do the daily thing for sure, or what their thought process was on it. But, I mean, there's so many weird issues with the resin.
Yeah, I
It's
think
just hard
everyone
to
said,
tackle.
some people said, it should have been 180 is the cap. If they were going to
180.
increase the cap, why not 180? Because that's 24 hours.
Yeah.
And instead, I think 160 is 22 hours. Yeah, I think that's 22 hours,
Yeah.
something around there, which is
Huh.
just kind of a weird, why don't they just go the extra mile
Yeah.
and make it 1 day? But
Why can't they just give us something that we want?
yeah,
Why can't they just appeal?
the resin cap is nice because it means you don't have to log on as frequently. You have more hours in there. You have more leeway to do that. But it doesn't fix any of the other stuff,
Yeah.
which was the big problem even back then, and it gets worse and worse as your AR climbs and everything just costs more resources. Because now you are literally logging on, just scrounging up every last thing you can to make anything usable.
It's really complicated. It's multifaceted. There's a lot of things because they added more. They added another boss, another weekly boss that you got to spend 60 resin on.
Yep.
And, that makes 3 bosses that you can only kill once a week, interspersed between the daily things you got to do for domains or, other bosses to get ascension materials for your characters, or weapon ascension materials, or artifacts, which is the biggest thing we're all farming now. But there's just so much to manage. And then, we'll get into this more, but there was an event which also required you to spend your resin every day. Basically every day if you wanted to complete this event in time. So there's just like an abundance of things to spend your resin on, and just not enough resin to go around.
Yeah.
It's such a slow progress. It's so slow to progress any character to level anybody up, as we're both learning, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Now.
It makes sense from their point of view as the business, right? Because they want us to go slow so we keep playing and coming back and seeing new content and characters and spending money on them, right? So the resin makes perfect sense in that way. But the game almost isn't remotely balanced around that fact, because I think for me the biggest thing is characters are basically completely unusable once your world increases in level, because you have to go gather all that shit to bring them up to the proper level. And so what's the point? Like, getting more new characters doesn't help because it takes so much time to bring them up to anywhere near usable. And I don't know.
So much time and so much resin and so much RNG, trying to get their stuff, trying to get anything that's like good on a specific character is interesting. It's a fun battle, a really fun battle to figure out.
All of that stuff seems fine. It keeps you coming back.
I think you should have to farm artifacts and you should have to farm builds and stuff, but like weapons, I feel like weapons are a whole different thing. I'm coming to realize weapons are pretty fucked up.
Weapons and characters are both really, because you need every component of that if you want. The game doesn't just increase the level of the enemies and then in a linear way with your characters. Things are harder. They have
Do they
more.
get new moves? They get new moves, don't
I'm
they?
pretty sure enemies gain different moves, or their moves kind of evolve.
Yeah.
I'm very distinctly noticed that those Abyss mages would do different variations of their casts, and the Electro lady.
Yeah, the
She
season
would get
mage.
that. She eventually got that orb, that shield around her, and the triangle that traps you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the game gets harder. Enemies become spongier, and they hit harder. So they just outscale you in a way, and it just further exacerbates that you always need everything like up to par.
Yeah.
And it makes it harder and harder and harder to bring everything up to that point. Like I guess they also increase your rewards, but that isn't very good either. You get like one extra experience book when you go up a world level
Yeah.
per ley line that you do, and you need hundreds of those to bring a character to like level 70. We're about to be at level 90. And it's exponential, the growth that it takes for that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, jeez. We were both saving our primo gems. Upon learning that the chests and stuff didn't respawn and there was no way to reliably get primo gems in-game, we both were like lock and key, like locked our primo gems up.
Yeah, you can't spend them anymore if you want something specific.
Yeah. So, no pulls for, weeks. But we both recently, pulled on banners, got new characters. So we get to experience the
actual
of,
game.
Yeah. And, suddenly you have all these characters that you have to level up to get to even become useful, in your world level, to even become usable.
Yeah.
And it's heavy. It's a lot. Like, I wanted Beto so bad.
Same.
I got her. I got Beto.
Same.
She's just sitting at level 1. I don't know, because there's so many. It really sucks. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad news.
It's very disappointing, and that's I got 2 characters. I got one to 80, which is where I'm at now, and, usable. But I haven't got the other one there, and that banner's already gone. It's a different banner now. And there's another one coming in, what'd you say, 15 days?
15 days.
What are they expecting us to do? That event that came out, the Meteor event, I will say, was good. I liked that.
Yeah.
You did actually get more out of that than the regular daily stuff from spending your resin, except it didn't count towards the battle pass. That was the bad thing.
Yeah, it did. The battle pass.
It had its own missions.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're getting more experience books doing the event than you are doing the ley lines, but you're not getting progress towards the ley lines on your weekly. So it's kind of a bit of a torn decision there, but I think there's still room to make the battle pass, and I think, we did even.
Yeah. I've been slacking on my battle pass quite a bit, actually. And
it still seems like you're fine.
I'm still on track, yeah.
Yeah, they definitely remedied that a bit, I think, from our initial
the battle
worries.
pass is definitely fixed, but it's also not fixed because it's the exact same as last month's battle pass.
Yeah, it's still...
We got to talk about that, too. That's kind of fucked.
Yeah, as it stands with all of the resin, players could literally sit there and farm artifact domains for eternity and never get what they ideally want, like God rolls perfect stuff. So I don't know why we also have to spend 100 million years farming all the other shit.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if all the ley lines and all the bosses and everything were half off. You know? And we'd still be farming artifact dungeons we'd still be logging on, spending all our resin on those artifact dungeons, even if we had all that saved resin from other stuff.
Yeah, I think that's honestly a perfect thing they could do, because artifacts as it stands right now is the biggest sink of money and artifacts to level up your artifacts with. Like, you need those. The artifacts is the biggest contributor, I think, to a character. You need those to be leveled up on your characters. You need 5 of them to be leveled up. That's the way, artifacts is how you build your characters. So if we got these new characters, like Beto, we'd be spending all that time farming artifacts on her instead of spending all the time not even wanting to level her up because of the potential experience, money, and artifact cost, and talent books. Talent books are the worst thing.
Yeah.
Are the worst thing to farm in the game. It's such a shitty yield for talent books, but that should be like... I was thinking that's almost like an end game thing, like one of the last things you should do for a character.
The difference between a talent at level, you get like 10, close to like 10% damage on each individual hit and your charge attack and everything for one talent level on that. So the difference between 1 and like 6, I think, is around where we are if you want to get there with just books and not the weekly boss drop.
Yeah.
That's a massive difference. You need those, but you probably want to build your other stuff first.
Yeah.
Either way, you need every single thing. You need all those components.
Yes. And it becomes expensive because those, I remember spending resin, the condensed resin. I've condensed resin. That's a whole nother thing too. They added. We'll get to that as well. But spending condensed resin on those yielded like not even enough books to level up one talent, and that's 40. That's 40 resin running the artifact, the talent. So you got to spend 80 resin to potentially level up one talent once. And just thinking about the chance of getting the gold ones you need just to drop is so low. So you're gonna have to be combining all your shitty books to into the gold books to level up your final stages of the talent. I don't even know how many levels are there because I can't seem to get the weekly drop that I need to level up any of my talents. Which is another thing. As we get talking, I'm like, oh yeah, there's all these inconveniences in the game that are just like really frustrating.
They made it, the game seems okay, almost, if you still are focusing on like one core team of characters.
Yeah.
I mean, even as I put that stipulation, I know, I don't have all the talent stuff I need for one character, but I do actually have, the weapon and some talents for like two.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of a suboptimal for two more. But then there are a lot of characters and a lot of different combinations. If you invest in a character that ends up not working at a higher difficulty, sorry, they really need to rethink it, I think. I mean, they probably won't. That's the sad thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at how much money they've made. They've won awards. They've won Game of the Year awards for like mobile games or whatever, right? On the Google Store, I think on the PlayStation, some kind of Sony thing too, right? They've been winning awards for this game.
Yeah, I think
they've made over like $4 million or something like that.
Multiple millions, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, as a mobile game, although we play it on PC, as a mobile gacha game, I think it does push the industry forward. Like, this is what they're capable. It's the most dynamic gacha game I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that story, it's got that voice acting, but they just don't.
Oh, did I say 4 million?
Yeah.
That's vastly, incredibly wrong. It's 400 million.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry. It's $400 million in 2 months. So there's no way. There's no way they're going to change it. I'm sorry, but yes,
they've kind of been given a pass for, even though the game I think really could use a lot of balance and directional changes. It's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think it had the potential to be kind of not just something that sets a new trend for, that part of the video game industry, the mobile game industry, but it could have been something like extremely memorable, legendary. But I think it's holding itself back in a lot of ways from that, and that's not going to change.
It's catering to people who, want to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on the game rather than its current player base, I guess, that are just, there for the fun. Like you and me, we have spent money on the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be, we just bought the monthly things.
The $5.
I didn't buy the $5 monthly card for Prima Gems every day. We bought the Battle Pass last time. I haven't invested in it this time because it's just a repeat. I thought there'd hopefully be some cool things in there, but it's just the same materials. But, I'm not buying it this time. And I don't know if I'll buy it next time. And so that's, losing out on potential. I'm sure there's a lot of people like me out there who are like, they would have been constant small spenders, but they would have been there, like loyal to the game, playing the game, maintaining their subscription essentially to play. But I think that it's just, I don't know.
I did buy the Battle Pass this time, but it came with so much guilt because I know it's not worth it. They're cutting that part of the game out and selling it to us.
Yeah.
And I guess you just have to level with yourself and be okay with that in order to make a purchase like that. But it's also sneaky because they're kind of tricking you into the value of that stuff.
Yeah.
They're only giving you like 5 pulls. Well, closer to 10, I think, because of the free stuff.
Primo gems too. Yeah.
Yeah, and primo gems. So,
at the end.
But I don't know how much they charge for that. But is it worth $10 for that?
Nope.
I don't think so. I bought it, but I don't think so.
It's all in-game stuff too that they created it. They created the deficiency of experience books and weapon upgrade materials and everything, and then are like, guess what? You can buy a bunch of them.
They create the problem and they sell the solution. Very common.
They give us the drought, and then they say, here's water, $10. You know?
Yeah, it's very sad. They've done some, like the condensed resin that you brought up.
Yeah.
That's a step in the right direction, I think.
I think condensed resin's really fucking cool. I'm way into the idea of condensed resin, but there's a big problem.
Yeah, I think I know where you're going.
And it's that you can only have 3.
Oh, okay. That is a different issue. That is a problem, I guess.
I hate that. I hate that you can only have 3, and it says that you can craft more. If you are full on resin, it says, ooh, you could go craft 4 for some reason.
The game has a lot of little UI issues like that.
Yeah, but I think there's a big problem with only letting you have 3. Because, like, a guy like me, you know, if I go to work, sometimes I don't have the time to go and do a boss battle for, 15 minutes over, to spend my resin. Not that it takes me 15 minutes to kill a boss once. I mean, multiple times.
With the travel time and logging into the game, it might.
Yeah, true. And then, killing it multiple times. But I think that it's cool to be able to let a player to save up their condensed resin for when they can actually play.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
Cash it in. Because you spend the resin to create it, and that counts as spending resin, but it doesn't spend it to use it. So then, I work Monday through Friday, 12-hour shifts, 16-hour shifts. I can only log in for just a second. Create all your condensed resin. I have the weekend off. Boom, you can just, cash in all that time.
Yeah, you can play on your own schedule at that point.
Yeah, and they need to increase it a bit. I could understand not having 99 of them.
Yeah, but as it stands, it's 120 resin total that you can have stored as condensed, which was the old cap that people said was too low.
Yeah, it's weird to me that you can only create 3. I think 10 or so would be like a good just stockpile, because you still have to go play the content afterwards to cash it out.
Yeah, a couple days seems fine.
Yeah, a couple days worth. Like,
you still have to log in to use the resin. You still have the cap to deal with that you're getting in the game, so it makes sense to me. I think the funny thing about condensed resin is it's almost MiHoYo admitting to us that you should be spending less time actually playing the game.
Yeah.
If it wasn't clear enough from all the content drought that we had.
Oh, condensed resin, by the way, is it takes 20 resin to run a domain. Condensed resin takes 40 resin to make one, and you can cash it in and get double the rewards at the end of doing a domain. So it's basically like a shortcut to getting more rewards faster.
Yeah, run 3 domains instead of 6.
Yeah. But yeah, that is a very funny aspect of condensed resin, where they're just like, okay, we know you don't want to run the same domains, you don't want to play our game and do the grinding that you have to do every day. Here you go.
Here's a little shortcut. Spend less time taxing our servers and more time looking at the wish in the shop.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I think condensed resin can be better implemented. I'm waiting for quantum resin when you can cash it in to kill a weekly boss.
Yeah, I thought it was strange you couldn't
stuff like that.
do condensed resin.
Yeah.
On like bosses. I mean, the math doesn't work out, but you'd think you could spend 2 to cash in on a boss and get double the drops. But no, you still have to kill the boss once, teleport away, wait a little bit, come back.
Yeah, they're going to have boss ones and weekly boss ones, I'm sure, at some point. Probably different items, I'm guessing. But Resins, huh?
Yeah, funny that I really don't know the perfect solution anymore. There's so much. It just doesn't help them, the business MiHoYo, to do that other than create a more fun and fair game for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just not in their best interest.
It's a very nuanced issue.
You look at characters, you know how you earn no experience from killing hundreds and thousands of guys?
Yeah.
And you have to use books? That's a pretty clear-cut example of them really just forcing you to play a specific way that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, railroaded into the resin reservoir.
The resin apocalypse. People had good ideas about how to fix it.
Yeah.
I don't see it going anywhere, but I was probably hopeful in the original podcast. I'm still hopeful that someday they will change it, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, they put a Band-Aid on it, and it seemed to have calmed people down, but it's still an issue, and I hope that they put some more Band-Aids on it, you know?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to have fun with the game again,
Yeah.
instead of it being a chore.
To have fun, I think you and I are the same, where we want to build out teams of characters and test out different things. Instead, we're wrongly railroaded into having the same guys forever, using the same guys forever.
Yep.
And that sucks.
So
I want to be...
How about your personal experience pulling the new character?
Okay.
How does that speak to the whole entire thing of building a new character from scratch and then what proceeds?
Okay, so there's been a lot of drama about this character, I guess, because he was a major player in the story, Zhongli, and I was like, dude, this guy's cool. I like this guy a lot. I'm gonna pull for him. He's like husband. He's my husband material, you know. I pulled for him, invested. I was like ready to invest all my stuff, all my books, everything, and I did for the most part. And then I learned that he is kind of just like, not really that good, everyone says. For a 5-star character, you know? For a 5-star character who is essentially a god, like similar to Venti.
Yeah.
Who is way ridiculously overpowered. His kit is insane. But Zhongli's is kind of lackluster. He doesn't do a lot of damage. There's been like number comparisons between him and the other polearm user, Xiangling.
The free one.
The free one, yeah. And they both do the same DPS with their attacks. Except that Xiangling has a lot more utility with her pyro application.
Yeah.
And Zhongli has Geo, which is kind of regarded as the orphan element. It kind of doesn't really resonate. Element. Yeah, it's all alone. It stands by itself. It doesn't resonate very well with anybody's abilities. So I used all these...
weeks of materials.
Yeah, weeks of materials and, the gathering points. Like the core lapis. God damn it. Core lapis and those stupid violet grass flowers. Dude, like that stuff. There's some stuff that's so easy to collect every day if you want. But there's some stuff that's so fucking out of the way to get. And it's such a pain because multiple characters need these flowers or various things around the world to ascend. Oh my gosh.
It's utterly ridiculous that of characters that need flowers, every single one of them, even if it's a different flower, they need the same amount. So like 45. Yeah. But this flower for that character and some others
violet grass
is objectively more difficult and less common. Like more difficult to obtain and less common just overall. Where's the logic there? Why wouldn't it take less? I don't get it. I'm happy I don't have to deal with that, but geez, I'm not looking forward to the inevitable time that I do.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, core lapis is one thing, but those violet grass flowers for Xinyan and Chi-Chi. I also have Chi-Chi, and she needs them too, and it's just like, they are such a pain to get just even like 10, because they're all growing on cliff faces. You have to climb up or down cliffs to go get them, and it's just such a pain in my rear.
Yeah, it is.
Ugh. it's very unfortunate with Zhang Li, um, because I did spend all this stuff into him. Yeah, I'm working on artifact set for him and like trying to find his ideal. Like it was fun. It's fun initially, but damn, he hits like a wet bag, dude, a wet plastic bag. He doesn't really hit that hard, and I can't tell, if it's because he's not fully leveled up or if it's because he's also weak. It's probably a combination of those things. But I'm thinking about switching. I wanted him to be a main DPS guy because I'm sick of playing the same fucking character for 2 months. Like I want to switch shit up, and then I get slapped in the face when I try because now this character doesn't hit very hard. And now I'm thinking like, okay, maybe I'll switch him out to just be, he'll just use his ult and then just be switched out right away, and I'll keep cutting guys in half with Kaching, I guess.
Yeah, it speaks to the whole issue of, they're demanding a certain amount of extensive foresight before you invest in anything, because you can't do shit with that character until they're basically level cap, and then look what happens when you actually do what they ask of you, and then it's just kind of undertuned. And Geo itself is kind of a weird element in that the game is DPS centric. Pretty much all games are, but I guess this one too, because there's timers on things. You get rewards for timers. Killing things faster means you take less damage, and he's weak. Geo doesn't do any additional damage like everything else.
Yeah, no reactions, no elemental combo reactions.
It's just shields, and his are already not very good compared to other characters. And what about those constellations?
Oof. So we talked about constellations in the first episode a little bit.
Yeah,
we were talking about. We were saying we thought they were interesting on 4-star characters because it seems like you need those constellations to build them into something akin to a 5-star, right?
Yeah, it was like mostly fun bonuses. There was stuff like, I think Amber's bunny, wasn't it? You can shoot that to make it blow up. That was kind of an odd one out because it felt like it should be part of her base kit. But otherwise it was like just cool additions to make them more powerful.
Now it seems like that's following a trend to me, though, right? Is that how you're feeling? Like it seems like there's certain things they're sneaking by in these 5-star limited units that aren't in the permanent pool anymore. That once their 2-week banner goes away, they're gone, as far as we know, for maybe ever. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's already 2+ months, and we haven't seen Venti. Completely expected, but that goes to show they're not coming back anywhere near a quick pace.
Yeah. And so you have characters now, they're sneaking them in. They're sneaking in these constellations that seem like they should be a part of your main kit, even as a 5-star character, not just a 4-star character. But there's some weird shit going on with those constellations now. To me, I feel like Zhang Li, when your shield, which you can apply holding your E, takes damage, 40% of that damage is converted to HP for the current character. It can't exceed 8% of that character's max HP. That feels like it should just be in his kit.
Yeah. I mean, because you're just generating... What do other shields even do? Noelle's shield gives her HP. I think it heals your whole team, actually, if you have her shield on when you're hitting every so often. Beto's can discharge electricity. What does Zhongli's do? It's just a shield?
Yep.
So it would also have a... Not to mention, those are 4-stars that I just mentioned.
Those are 4-star characters.
Zhongli, the 5-star god, his shield does less.
Yep.
And then the only way to get it is to pull 7 copies of him. Good luck getting one. Kind of puts it into perspective a little bit, huh? I know the previous 5-star child, he's got some weird ones where, like, it's already a 5-star. He's pretty good from everything I've read about him. You know, I don't have the materials to invest in him, so I can't check. But
yeah,
he's got also 2 constellations. I also think that they're maybe his first and his 6th that completely change kind of the way you play him, the pace at which you can use your abilities, which would make it so that instead of being a character who's most effective bringing him out every so often, doing some stuff, switching him out, now he can be out all the time.
Yeah.
That's a vast difference.
That's messed up. That's very messed up. There was an interesting thing that doesn't the evidence is pretty minor, I think, here with Zhang Li, but I believe that when they were releasing promotional materials about Zhang Li and doing like his character test thing, his ult they petrified enemies for 7 seconds.
Yeah, it seemed like it went on for quite a while in the trailer.
Yeah, not even just in the trailer, but in actual gameplay, they were showcasing him off in Chinese, I believe, in a live stream or something. But guess what?
I think I know.
It's about 3 seconds, I think. 3.5 seconds. At level 5, I have him right now, talent level 5, it's 3.5 seconds. And I'm pretty sure that doesn't go up. There's a constellation that makes it go up by 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
So
they advertised him. They're
advertising
showcasing
him
his powers
way above what you're actually going to get.
No, but I'm pretty sure that maybe this is speculation, maybe it's evidence, but I'm pretty sure that they didn't have a constellation on him. They didn't have any constellations on when they were showcasing him.
So it was straight up fabricated.
Yes, that's, I believe, what people were assuming.
Yeah, I guess that's all really recent developments
this is all,
and drama.
That was just today that I read that. So, whether it's true or not, who knows? But all I know is it's there. He doesn't seem like a character that is supposed to be a god in the canon, and he doesn't seem like a character that's worth being a 5-star character.
And I know I've read the next 5-star has rumors it's following the same trend of constellations that completely alter how you can use them and really they should not be behind this massive paywall. There's no way you're ever going to pull that many copies of this character unless you've been playing since day one and saved all your gems since day one. I don't know if you could even do that for Zhang Li. To get to C6 unless you were insanely lucky. And there was no way to do that for, Venti way back when the game just came out.
Yeah.
There just wasn't enough in the game. So This is like explicitly a Wales only thing. It's kind of damning.
Yeah, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth for sure.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's following that trend like a lot, where it's just gonna be like that.
Yeah,
There's 3 characters in a row now. 3 5-star limited characters in a row now that's the case.
Yeah, provided that the next character, right?
Yeah, provided that Ganyu
is confirmed as people
potentially.
Say.
Yes.
And I guess to be fair, the characters are still usable. But is that fair? Is that justification?
No, it's not.
I don't think it is either.
I think if you have a limited character that you have to spend your precious primos on, that they should be, especially with the rates as they are, it just seems, I don't know, man.
You can increase the numbers, and on the constellations, make this do more damage. Everybody has 2 constellations that are just increase this skill by 3 levels, right? Or maybe they have 3 of those.
I'm not sure, but they do have them.
Nobody complains about that. And it's because the characters are good enough as they are. But it's also because they don't play differently. They aren't a different character once they get those. They're just, slightly stronger. And so, altering their use that vastly behind a paywall, I think I have to say, it's not okay. I really hope that the Ganyu stuff is wrong, though, because I'm definitely going to pull for her. But as will always be the case, I'm not going to spend real money on it. Probably not going to get more than 1 copy of her. I guess we'll just have to see. And beg, plead, and scream that they stop fucking us.
Please, yes, please stop fucking us, miHoYo.
Please.
Damn. Yeah, it's not a very free-to-play friendly game, for sure. The the content you get out of the game is good, I guess. But if you play just the story and then you go, that was good, time to wait for a new update, and then you don't play again, like, good on you, then the game is fine. But if you're trying to make your team as strong as you can and you want to experiment with different characters that they lovingly design, like, you can tell these characters' designs are fucking awesome because people love the characters. And it just makes you want to play them even more. If you're not doing that, then this game is just fine for you. But for everyone else who's, wants to push themselves, it doesn't really open itself up for you. It doesn't make things easier.
It's almost punishing to continue to play and progress with higher, steeper and steeper mountains that they're asking you to climb.
Yeah. It's very unfortunate.
But hey, they added the bounty system, the reputation, and they've been doing some cool events.
Let's talk about the good stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the things that are nice additions, although it doesn't really weigh the scales, towards being great. But they're definitely taking some steps in the right direction, I'd say.
Yeah, they did some stuff in 1.1 that we were hoping for. Like the condensed resin and the resin cap were minor improvements, but they're kind of in the right direction. I think that it's half-hearted at best, but still objectively good compared to before.
Yeah, definitely.
And then they've got, those expeditions. Remember, we had so few characters, and you'd send them on expeditions, and you just couldn't use them. And now you can use them. You can actually take advantage of Kaching's exploration timer buff, because you can still play her when she's out in the field, which was pretty much an unusable waste of a talent before.
Yeah.
What else did they add? The bounties.
Bounties and reputation for the cities, which are only going to get, as they add more areas, that'll just hopefully be something that's implemented right away. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm into it. I think the rewards, there's not too many rewards, I guess, but yeah, you're right. As they add more areas, hopefully that changes, because it feels like they're going to dry up pretty soon, like everything else. But as it stands right now, I'm not even done with one of the two areas.
Yeah, and that's good. Like, I think I think the rewards are cool because they aren't just, here's some experience books.
That's so.
Here's some crystals. Like, it's actual things that you can use to change how you play, a little bit.
Cool
there's
gadgets.
The wind bottle thing. Yeah, there's little gadgets you can use to, like, put a portable stove out and cook wherever you want. Or there's the temporary waypoint that you can create to, travel wherever you want. There's some good additions there that I think are good, but...
And there's some cosmetic stuff, too. And
it
comes at a decent pace, I think, where I'm getting, if I'm not at leveling up once a week so far, then it's so insanely close that it's like, all I have to do is wait till Monday or whatever. And, I get a cool thing.
That's pretty cool. It's good. It's a good pace. They definitely paced the reputation system out well. Because I still have to do all Mondstadt stuff. I'm doing Leeway right now, and it's fun.
Yeah,
it's good.
Doing the bounties to get the reputation up it's not the most exciting, but it's like a bit of variety because they have different stipulations on. I've only done the third level. Are they harder?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
I've only been doing third level too. Yeah, I'm assuming they're harder.
Yeah, and so some of them are immune to certain damage types and to take more from others, and that's kind of interesting.
And weapon types as well take damage from certain weapons, more damage from certain weapons, and yeah, it's cool how it randomizes that. But the act of, like, tracking your prey is very monotonous and repetitive. You have to go around in a little area and find 3 clues, and it's just like, it just seems a little time consuming. But it's whatever. It's not a huge deal.
It's just a bit of a tiny pointless waste of time.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why it's a good thing they're weeklies. There's only 3 to do a week, or else it would be extremely annoying, especially if it was once a day, if it was a daily.
Yeah.
That would get tiring very fast.
Let's talk about the event.
The meteor one?
The cool one, yeah, the meteor one.
Yeah, that one was really cool. I have to say I was not paying attention to the story after probably the first cutscene, but
That's the thing, though, is I think this is canon. I think the story of the event is leading into what's coming up.
yeah,
I think that was like a big thing,
I didn't think that it was at first, but as I was picking up on some of the stuff in the cutscenes, I got the impression I was missing out.
which is pretty cool. I think that it's kind of another. For one thing, I was really grateful for this event. I hope next time that they put it in the second half of the battle of the 2 week spread, of the battle pass update cycle.
Yeah,
It's very cool having a reason to log in and to get good rewards and to get story. It seems like a big reason to play. Like I was like, yes, this is cool. I'm actually digging doing this event stuff. It's fun, and they roll the event chapters out at a good pace. And I just thought it was a well implemented event to keep you actually busy. And I hope that they like now we're in the last 2 weeks of 1.1. Everything else is getting stale, and we're just doing a gliding challenge. Like it's just like, okay, let's now we're just gliding once a day.
yeah, it is kind of weird
So-
that they hype you up for the next update in the first half of the of 1.1. Like that seemed like the perfect lead-in, like a pre-launch sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
If they did that, that would build way more hype for the next release. I hope that that's what they do in 1.2.
yeah, I mean, now that I was paying attention to the Leeway story, because the Mondstadt stuff was kind of a snore fest for me. And I guess it's because it was like a tutorial. That whole zone of Mondstadt is like a little tiny condensed tutorial zone. It's not very dynamic. Leeway has so much more going on.
Yeah.
And the story was so interesting in the last bits that we got. And then this was like a continuation of that.
Yeah. This last update completed the story where it left off before the Leeway chapter. So you had some main story quests to do, and it was a very good addition to the main story. I thought I was into it.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
tuned in. And so that's something I didn't really think was a Genshin strength before because I skipped it. But yeah, the story is a good reason to tune in. And so the stuff that comes ahead in the future is part of what I'll look forward to now. And I'm glad that the events can take part in that and actually be relevant.
Yeah, definitely. I thought that was a very interesting, because usually, like, Arc Knights, for example, usually the events that I skip a lot of those. I never read any of the Arc Knights dialogue usually, unless it was the story. I would always skip the events. Mm-hmm. But the events just seem like fan servicey little things for the new characters they're adding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know.
As far as I'm aware, because I also skipped them.
Yeah.
From the trailers and stuff, it always seems like a little look at a character's past. But it's not usually insanely insightful, but, I could be way off base with that.
Yeah, so this event they set up like a new bad guy, Sarah Mauch or whatever, and they set up they set up this weird dream space thing, this mountain. It's interesting, the meteor thing with the constellations of it. There's a lot going on in the story for sure, and I'm way tuned in, dude. Sarah Mauch was saying some weird stuff at the end.
Yeah, he was.
He was saying stuff about like the sky being fake, and that I was like, what?
Yeah.
Is this what? Like I'm kind of tuned. I'm way more tuned in to like. I hope they do some crazy world breaking shit in this game. It would be very cool.
They still have that massive zone, that like city or palace looking thing way off in the distance in the sky. Has anyone ever brought that up?
I don't think so.
With the whole sky being fake and then that just ominously always in the distance.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
It's got some good potential for sure. Like the story hasn't. It's nothing to write home about, but it's certainly engaging and interesting.
Yeah. I hope that they're not doing a flavor of the week thing though with the characters, because
yeah.
they kind of just abandoned the people from Mondstadt. Mm-hmm. Like we haven't heard from them really at all. And Mona and Fischl were a big part of this meteor event.
Yeah.
But are we really even going to see them anymore?
Yeah, I hope we see the past characters for sure. It might. I'm thinking it's going to be a flavor of the month sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little disappointing. It makes sense because it's easier for them to tackle the game like that. But I think it would be a more compelling story if we could actually get a narrative with all these characters together.
And like, I want to see Zhang Li. I want to see what he's up to. It would be cool to see Venti and Diluc, you know, those guys, like, have them pop up sometimes. I hope that they do. I hope they have little, you know, guest spots and significant stuff and story cutscenes and everything. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I want to see some deaths. Wouldn't it be cool if characters died? Or turned evil? Like, I want to see some good characters turning evil, man. I want to see good shit. I want to see stuff like that.
That's something they've brought up as almost a possibility in the canon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, delusions. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping we'll see delusion versions of our characters. Would be very, very interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential still to be tapped, but just the basic foundation they have, it's really hit and miss depending on how you're approaching the game.
Yeah, what you engage with.
As we get more characters in our teams, you know, have you done much of the Abyss, the end game where you bring your characters? Kind of the, I forget about it all the time, but it's really the only thing that you can test your characters on.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, I've been meaning to do it. I've been preparing for it for a long time. I just don't feel ready to go in. Next time I go in there, I want to get 3 stars on everything. I want to beat it. You know what I mean? I'm not going in there half-assed.
Yeah.
I'm not running in there with my dick in my hands. You know what I'm saying? I'm going in there. Yeah,
you do say that a lot too. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm the same way. It's more fun to be building the team than to actually have to put them against the challenge, I guess. Like, it's fun for me doing some theories about the team itself, and then I put them together, and then I go into the Abyss and I go, oh, there's a really specific way to tackle this. It's not actually just do what I want and try to make it work.
Yeah, you need certain elements and stuff, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's another exacerbation of the issue that you need to take 1 million years to build a single new character up to par. But like, it's obvious we both have used Kaching a lot.
Almost exclusively. Just my team was built around do nothing but make her stronger. But then challenging the Abyss, some of these final floors of these domains, wow. Getting slapped around.
Slapped around is one way to put it. There, you know, especially in the Abyss where you have to make 2 different teams. And I do have a kind of a carry now in Ningguang, but, you know, like we said with Geo, it's just not like an optimal damage element.
Yeah.
And God forbid that you go into one of these challenges, of the 6 current elements in the game, you can only bring 4, and you don't bring one of the correct ones. Because there's those enemies like the Harbingers, the Fatui no, they're not the Harbingers, the Fatui Sergeants or whatever
Agents.
They are. Yeah, the purple ones
Assassin
that have
and the mage.
Those are tough, but I'm talking about
the
ones
man
with shields.
Yeah, I think they are sergeants, aren't they?
I don't know. They drop sergeant insignias is the only thing I'm basing that on. But
yeah,
those are the toughest for me because I have no ice characters. I've never built an ice character because I only have Kaya, and I hate him. The free ice character. So that's literally the only way to take down an Electro Shield. Once they put that up, they're gods. They're unkillable nearly. It takes forever to kill them, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You have Chi-Chi, so maybe it's easier for you, but if you don't have ice, it's near impossible.
Well, that's just one of the characters,
and
too.
That's just one. God damn it.
There's all the different elements that they have a shield to put up. Like, those guys, you need to DPS them down fast or you are in for a treat.
And you're not going to DPS them that fast in something that's higher level content. The final floors of the Abyss, those guys are level 90. The Abyss scale, the final floors of the domains.
Okay.
The Abyss, they scale higher than that. So make sure you have an archer in case there's a ruin guard, or a worse, a ruin hunter because they love to fly in the air. And I've had those guys just sit there and waste 3 minutes. So you need an archer. You need somebody who's ice for those electro shields. And just imagine exploring the world. And like the meteor event. When you'd go to the meteor and you'd start it, I don't know that there was a way to tell what in it. Because the abyss, you can look ahead. But for the meteors, it was just seemed like random.
Yeah.
So you get these guys, and you don't even have enough slots in your party to be having all this stuff. Maybe optimally, but you probably don't have them built up. It's a little overkill, I think, just how much it takes to bring the wrong element or to not have the one. Like, how is ice the only solution for that? Then those shield guys, pretty much, like the wood shield, you need fire.
You need fire. Yeah, we've been having that problem doing commissions every day. It's like we split up to do commissions real fast, and one of us is sitting there killing one of the shield guys because you can't switch in the middle of combat. Mm-hmm. You know, you're just stuck, especially online. So you're just like, okay, I'm in a combat, I'm engaged in a battle. Now I just have to wait for him to expose, because they snap too. Mm-hmm. We've had that issue where we're on either side of him and they just block both, like, king, 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 both of our attacks. It's like, what the fuck, man?
They need another way. I'm happy that there's a rock, paper, scissors solution that annihilates it, but there really needs to be more dynamic ways to get around these issues if you're not prepared way ahead of time, or you just can't be because you don't have those characters. I'm not running around with a level 1 Kaya, and I'm not going to level him up because, as it's been addressed, it takes forever.
Fuck Kaya. Oh, yeah, it takes forever.
Well, yeah, that too, but because it takes forever, I'd have to invest in him for weeks, and apparently I should have been doing that. I was playing the game wrong.
Whoops. You're not optimal. You're not meta. Should have looked it up.
Yeah, I guess so.
Should have played according to the meta, dude. Should have looked at the tier lists.
I mean, yeah, maybe there is some big brain reason as to why all of that is built that way, but for me it's infuriating to run around with 4 different elements at all times and still somehow come against roadblocks where they say, fuck you. You should have been having different characters. This is near unsolvable, or we're gonna waste 5 minutes of your time.
Damn. Yep. Big problem.
I mean, you don't seem as torn up about it. You must have the solution.
No, I don't.
You ever have those?
The solution is to waste my time.
You know those rock shield ones? How about them?
Yeah, I be Kuching like always, because that's the only character that I get to play as. And then I wait for them to charge at me, and I dash past them, and then I use my little stiletto and I do an attack, and then I wait for them to charge at me again.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat. Yeah, it's a fucking huge. It's stupid. It's like a waste of time. I don't know what else there could be. How else to do it other than just having that element ready to go.
I would like it if there was. Maybe this is a stretch, and I just thought of it, but in Breath of the Wild, they have those ruin sentinel whatever. I don't remember what they're called. Guardians. And they shoot lasers, and really one of the only reasonable ways to defeat them, I think, is to use like ancient stuff. But then you can deflect their own attack back at them is another way.
Oh, yeah.
So there's kind of like a specific solution, and then there's a way to use their stuff against them if you don't happen to have that already. At least that's the way I played it.
Yeah.
So it would be nice if there was attacks that made it easier to expose these characters. Still bring the correct element is the optimal thing.
Dude, fucking stamina.
Stamina.
You should be able to wear down their fucking stamina since they're blocking your attacks over and over again.
The wind shield guys?
All shield guys.
All shield guys.
I guess I'm thinking of the hilly trails with shields. Mm-hmm. You should be able to open up a stamina, they should have a stamina bar because they're just blocking all your attacks forever. The Fatui guys, though, there's, maybe there should be a, attack those big fat guys' backpacks or something to pop their shield, or, there should be something. I don't know what.
Some sort of counterplay that isn't one thing that you have, and in some cases you can't you can't just quickly switch. Maybe if you could quickly switch to
If
a
you could
backup
quickly
character,
switch,
that
that
could probably fix it and make the game more fun, but it completely changes the balance of the game, which might be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as it stands, I've run into that issue so much, wasted so much time with it. It's infuriating.
Yeah, very much so.
Enemies just don't play by the same rules as you do.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool if they had stamina. I mean, you jump off of a small cliff and you die in one hit, but you can knock them off the tallest cliff and their damage that they take caps.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty low, too. You can't, knocking, I think right next to Storm Terror, there's always a hilly troll at that bridge. And you can knock him off that bridge way, 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 way down. And he takes maybe a fifth of his health and damage. And then he just respawns at the top because it's so far away.
Full health.
Crazy.
That's good. Needs to be some balancing issues around that for sure. Balancing fixes.
It's not even too much. It's not asking too much. It's not changing too much, I think. But it would go a long way, once again, in making the teams people want to play more viable.
Yep, that's a big thing. Having those teams, having your guys. That's what's made me want to keep playing, is building teams up and using different characters. There's no incentive to anymore. Used all my stuff on Zhongli.
Yeah. Well, maybe, once you get to the maximum level of 90 on a character, which I imagine will increase eventually.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to worry about certain characters, but that's still another 80 to 90, I'm sure, is just insane.
Yeah.
Because it's...
World level, you mean? Or character?
Character
attack.
level, 80 to 90.
Yeah.
The amount of just experience and money for that, I'm sure, is ridiculous.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Sinking in all those experience books.
And I guess on the one hand, you do never have to worry about that character again. But on the other, exactly how many hours of resin of your life did you have to wait to accrue and then spend to bring them to that point, and was it worth it for one character?
Yeah.
That's the ultimate question, I think, in terms of, is Genshin going to retain my attention in the long term?
That's a lot to think about, a lot to process. Very heavy question posed.
That's just what they've been showing us. The writing is on the wall as it gets more and more and more frustrating and excessive as each increment of character levels, world level, goes up. Just wait for your weapon materials, weapon enhancement, wait for the talents. All that stuff's going to unlock for us very soon to bring it to 90.
Mm-hmm.
And everything we've ever worked for is down the drain to get one character ready.
2 months.
And then you pull a new character and they're level 1. Haha.
Yeah, something's got to change, man. It's just too much to ask for just a normal person to do.
Yeah.
But maybe we shouldn't have leveled up. Shouldn't have leveled up our world rank. That's all.
Well, then you were getting less materials per resin you spend. It's more efficient for your time.
Yeah, but
as you go up, literally your time is more valuable.
Just cap it off at 50 and just do the story.
What did I mention this in the last podcast, where I thought it would make a lot more sense if you could just turn your world level back down, right? Like maybe have every chest and maybe even the events in your world for each different world level, have them reappear and have different rewards scaled to that world level. Like chests actually give you more shit on a higher world level. Because if you go find one right now, one of the few remaining chests in your game, it's kind of got garbage in it.
Yep.
So why not let you just switch between world levels so that you have stuff to do and you can actually test your characters in a real environment?
Yeah. It would almost be like a new game plus in a way.
And people have so much more shit to do. They're coming back.
Yeah. You could be like, I just pulled these 2 new characters. They're level 1. I'm going to go bring them into the world level 1 and start, grinding them out. I mean, obviously you could get the materials faster in your higher level, but...
Yeah, but it's a perfect way to actually explore that world level some more and test your characters more. It's more fitting to me. I'm sure that's probably a lot of effort on the part of MiHoYo, but it just makes so much more sense than the way it is now in my mind. And who are we? A couple of nobodies thinking of this.
We're just a couple of gamers.
They should pay us to come up with ideas for their game.
Yeah, I mean, we should be consultants. Why not? MIDFES. Oh, MIDFES, we heard your podcasts. We heard your podcasts and thought you had really good ideas, and you seem to know a lot about more about game design and business than we do.
In business,
welcome aboard. And then we'll go, okay, make it good. Take the resin out.
They just trust us with total creative control.
I wouldn't remove resin completely if I had the opportunity. There needs to be some balance there, but
they do get paid a lot of money to think about it, and we don't.
$400 million to be exact.
You can really feel that it's a mobile game sometimes.
Yeah.
One that makes so much more money than anything you could imagine.
You know, you can put the prettiest makeup ever on a pig. And it's still a fucking pig.
Is that what this game is a pig?
I think gacha games are pigs. Yeah. Gacha games in general.
All gacha games? Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of bottom feeder stuff. And that's coming from me, a gacha game player. You know?
We're eating their slop.
It's insidious. It's like a really fucked up game design.
It does feel like they're always trying to sneak something past you and like take advantage of you, right?
Yep. And it's all because there's a lot of psychology we can go into here.
Yeah.
You know? Lonely anime nerds like us. We want to see cute girls. We want to fight. You're laughing, but it's fucking true. Why do you think all these games...
That is why I'm laughing, is because it is true. How did you know me so well?
It's fucked. It's sad. It's like... It's preying on this, this certain person who has money to spend and gets... And this is me. This is me. I'm not, this is all... You feel this elation. It's a gambling addiction for one thing, but then you see this cute girl, and you get to hear that little voice lines, and you're like, you feel your heart like warm up for a little bit. You're like, oh, it's really fucked up psychologically to disassemble the gacha game, but it's...
And they send us the mail. These characters have birthdays, probably blood types, and we get mail. I think Kaching's was like an implication that we were going on a date with them.
Yeah. And that stuff's just totally pandering to us, to people like us. And it's just really strange. It's kind of very similar to the, VTuber market. I'm a big VTuber guy. I love VTubers.
Oh.
But it's like a whole... I mean, maybe this is divulging into some fucking territory here, some other thing, some other issue.
Deep, dark look at your mind.
It's a deep, dark look at the inner mind of a person who these games are preying after.
Yeah.
And who, the VTuber market, like HoloLive, all those donations they're getting, that's just, it's totally appealing to this, to this person, to this type of guy. Or gal. I mean, this game's also popular around with women too, because there's a lot of handsome men. Child and Zhongli, like that stuff's proven. It's not a one-way street.
I've got plenty of friends who are interested in both sides of the aisle presented in Genshin.
Yeah, for sure, big time. It's just you're appealing. That's they market these character designs and everything, and just try to leech as much money out of you as possible, and it's really pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I cannot disagree.
Even just looking past the gambling aspect of it, just the money. I don't know. It's Genshin Impact.
It's Genshin Impact. It's a gacha game.
Mm-hmm.
It's the evolution of predatory microtransactions and preying upon anything they can, really.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep playing it until
I will keep playing it, and just like I mentioned, maybe yesterday, I think I mentioned, I'm thinking about buying the battle pass.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what a fucking shill! What a piece! Like, this is the. I don't want to get too heated because I still like the game. Okay, I'm not held hostage by this game. I can stop playing it. It's not like, I gotta see ka-ching. I need to keep playing. It's nothing like that. It's still fun. Sometimes it's fun. I think it's still worth playing. It's just really, really, really frustrating.
I was playing that Tales of Crestoria gacha that had characters I liked. It was fun, but the way that the game, the microtransactions and everything, I said I can stop playing at any time, and then I did.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we have that power, and I don't think really Genshin is going to take any more root in my mind unless they really do some crazy positive things with it.
Yeah, I desperately want it to be better than it is, for sure. But doesn't look that way.
There's some growing pains.
Growing pains. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the cutoff would be. For anime, it's the 3-episode rule. Apparently, for video games, it's the 16-hour rule before you can judge if something's good. But what would it be for Genshin? When do you think it'll find its 2 feet and we'll know for sure what the intentions are?
This is like modern gaming, I've probably postulated before that Genshin 1.0 felt almost like a beta release in a way. I mean, there were already betas of the game, but it didn't feel complete. And in a lot of ways, it still doesn't. And I'm not just talking about the fact that there are areas to be added later, but features and the balancing, things like that. It feels like we are testing their game for them still, if this was supposed to be like a regular release.
Yeah.
We are testing it for them, giving them all of our marketable data in their little surveys, and paying them.
Yeah. You're welcome.
This is just how games work now.
Yeah. Fuck.
I guess we'll just have to keep talking about games that are hopefully more complete packages and that are more just entertaining all around, more memorable in our other episodes. But until then, we just have to keep returning to Genshin and being a little disappointed.
Yeah, we're still going to keep recording these episodes, I believe. And, we'll be back for 1.2. Absolutely. It's going to be interesting seeing if all these frustrations are just being aired out now, and that's why this is running a little long, or if it's going to follow up into the next episode, and we'll be like, yep, all that same shit, nothing's really changed, nothing significant. But we'll for sure be following up with a 1.2 episode in a couple weeks after release, I'm assuming. But we're not hanging up our Genshin hats yet.
Yeah, let's take it. I'm willing to take it a bit further.
Yeah, an update or two. I want to see. I think my line here, the line I'm drawing in the sand, is the next continent. I want to see what exactly is going to be added when they add a whole new area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
I just want to know, because that'll be very telling if there's going to be sources of Prima Gems and stuff again. If it's going to be a drip feeder or what, who knows? But that's my...
That's your cutoff.
That's my, Yep.
Perfect.
What's that called? That's my something, and I'm sticking to it.
That's my thing, and I'm sticking to it.
I was gonna say that's my gun, and I'm sticking to it, but I didn't know. Because stick to your guns, people say, right? Stick to your guns. I'm sticking to my guns about that. That's how I'll say it.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see what Inazuma.
Yep.
Well, we're getting a new area and a new continent. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what Inazuma has.
We're getting a new area, but I'm more interested in seeing if they're gonna add a whole new country and what it entails, and that's kind of what I'm sticking out for, just to see what they add.
Surely by then the game will have some significant changes for the better.
Yep, that'll be in a couple months' time. So we got probably 1 or 2 more episodes of this podcast minimum of this the Paicast. So we'll see if it keeps us hooked in or not. But I'm still fastened in personally.
Yeah, I'm willing to keep going. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep investing monetarily or if I'm just going to keep being a daily login sort of player, but it is a bit of a commitment now. But I guess we'll come back and bring more updates.
Yep, we'll be back with more updates on the state of Genshin in the future. In the meantime, though, I believe we'll be having some, obviously more episodes coming out in between then, so stay tuned, stick to your guns, and stay tuned to listening to the Midnight Festival podcast. So yeah, we'll talk to y'all later. Huh?
Yeah.
Is that a good way to end it?
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, and have a happy midnight.
Happy midnight.